guys, Layles here, and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to be talking about something uber exciting. So this week, The Sims turned 20 years old, which, man, that is quite a long time for a game, a long lifespan. It's like most of my life. I'm almost 23 now, still 22. So this game, like as a franchise, it came out when I was 2 years old, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, this has been one of my favorite franchises to follow in terms of gaming for like my entire life. So I thought, to celebrate, I would build in The Sims 2 instead of The Sims 4. I would have done Sims 1, but I don't have the first Sims game for my computer. I only have it for my Xbox, and A, that would have been really difficult for me to record, and B, it seems to be that my little disc does not work according to my Xbox, which I don't know how or why, but that's the case. So I built this little house, well, kind of little house in The Sims 2. It's enough for a little family. I mean, I can't really share it on the gallery, which is sad. Maybe I'll rebuild it in Sims 2. Someday, if we ever get spiral staircases, because, The Sims 4 could never do that. But, I don't know, I guess I could also improvise a little bit if I redid it in The Sims 4. So, yeah. The Sims, though, I've loved this series as a whole, and I think that gaming really owes a lot to The Sims, as I think about it, as much as we kind of do get mad at EA nowadays. But the Sims team cares about the franchise. You can say that for sure. And the franchise has done a lot. Like, I don't think we would have games like Minecraft today if we didn't have the Sims. Because the whole idea of building and free building and simulation, though Minecraft has a lot more than that guaranteed, but all of that stems from the games that predate The Sims, which there aren't that many, and then The Sims itself, which really popularized that type of gaming style. So, I think that it's best to be said that, we should all be really grateful for The Sims. I wish that more people really commented on that aspect. A lot of YouTubers who are very popular Simmers, like Deligracy and Lil Simsy and Plumbella, a lot of them have talked about how The Sims has changed their life. And, yeah, it has. It's done for very good ways, and it's gotten them through hard times. I can say for myself, I struggled with a lot. I don't know that I really look back and say that The Sims being present really changed my outlook on a lot of things, but I do think that it gave me a space to tell stories and play in a way that wasn't maybe doing dollhouses. And yeah, I guess if that makes any kind of sense. It was my transition out of, I think, little kid toys since I got my first Sims game, around 4th grade. And it's a game that I've held on to simply just because I love to build. I love to play out storylines. It gives me a chance to think about different people's lifestyles, what other people may be experiencing. It gives me a chance to think about, different things that I go through with life, and just to see it play out in a different way can really help me, I guess, at least in a therapeutic sense. It's helped me be able to really think about what I'm going through and see it, separate from myself, which, that's something that can help, I think, to an extent. So, yeah. I'm really excited for The Sims as a franchise because of that. Now, I have heard some slight conversation, especially because I watched Plumbella's video the other day, where she was talking about how the birthday present, quote unquote, was disappointing, which, yeah, I'm going to say it was. I agree with her. The Sims really deserved a much bigger gift than what we got. Now, I haven't messed around with what we've got. Like, I'm going to say I was one of those people that did not or do not have the perfect patio stuff where you get the old hot tub. And so to have that now, I'm like, okay, that makes it where I feel like I don't need to get that pack someday down the line now. But at the same time, I'm also like, I don't really like the hot tub that they gave us. Like, I could see its appeal. I don't know that I like how it was designed, seeing her pull it up. Since, I've not gotten on Sims 4 this week, which is shocking, I know, but yeah, I have things I have to do to keep myself going towards other life choices. So, this house was fun to build, though. The Sims 2 is by far my favorite incarnation of The Sims as games and all. I think part of that is like the nostalgia, because this was the first computerized version of The Sims that I owned and that I ever saw. I was introduced to Sims like as a whole when I was in elementary school. My babysitter had the Sims and the Herbs on her Xbox. So her and her kids, or her older kids, would get on and play sometimes. And I liked to sit and watch them play, which, dismayed some people. But it wasn't something that I saw as being weird, really. Just because, I was a little girl, I liked dolls, and a lot of the things with The Sims is kind of like, these dolls that do more than what dolls can do, and that was really appealing to me, I should say. So, I was introduced with that, and then The Sims 2, when it came out, they got it on their PC, so I would sit and watch them play. And I really enjoyed that, although they were like, you're not interacting with other children, which I think, yes, that was a problem with the others that they did, they were right to mention and bring out. On the flip side, I was also kind of like, I'm heavily introverted, and I struggle with talking to people as it is now. And, there's different underlying factors to that. And so, I think it makes some sense, and I'm not too angry about how that all worked out. But, yeah. It was interesting time. So when I first got The Sims, I got an Xbox version, and then I got the PC Sims 2. And I was so excited. And I played this game every day almost for a long time. And then I would take breaks, and then I would just play a lot. Which, my parents didn't like that I played as much as I did sometimes. Which I think that was part of why I would take breaks. But I loved to get on and just, design families. And then later on, I loved to mess with storylines and mess with, different types of lifestyles. And it was interesting and fun. And I really did enjoy it as a game. And I continued to play it after everyone was on Sims 3. Especially because I didn't purchase Sims 3 after I was told it would crash Sims 2. So I continued to play Sims 2 and buy expansion packs for that. I collected the packs for a very, very long time. So I own most of the Sims 2 packs, not all of them. And I don't know, I think it was just a very well thought out game when I go back to it and see it compared to, The Sims 4 now, which I think that there's some good thought being put in at different moments, which I could talk in a lot of videos about that if I was being honest. But I think overall, The Sims 2 is probably the game with the most, well thought out content, I think. And, the types of things that you can do. So, yeah. I was excited to build this house and just mess around with Sims 2 building again, even though you have the difficulties of, you can't use move objects, you can't go and, make your grid sideways to an extent when you're placing furniture. So, like, those are some ways that the game has definitely improved over the years. But it is really cool to use that spiral staircase, I am not gonna lie. That's something I think I miss when I play The Sims 2. Now, I don't like spiral staircases if I'm doing like a large mansion-y house, and I do play in a lot of mansions for most of my gameplay, just because another thing about The Sims 4 is that it's so much easier to get money and then have it forever. The Sims 2, oh my goodness. Money was a pain. And I mean it was a pain. Doing anything in The Sims 2 is a pain. Like, comparatively. Like, I had to time out all the things I would do with one sim for a period of time. And I would have to, like, line up all these actions just to take care of their needs before I could do something storyline-wise. So, that being said, it's quite a different animal comparatively. So, like, that is some things that, you know, if I want to play a game that's a little harder, I think The Sims 2 is one that, like, because of that, I still go back to it sometimes. But on the flip side, I do appreciate that The Sims 4 is maybe a little bit easier, because I think that it helps for new players coming in, and I think it makes it a little bit more player friendly. Like, I guess that goes hand in hand if I'm really thinking about it. I hate that I can't center lights, I will say that, and the lighting in The Sims 2 is realistic, so I don't like it. But, I mean, I guess, like, you could also say if you want the realism factor, that's cool. Another thing that I guess I will say comparatively that I do go back to The Sims 2 for is the humor, because a lot of things with The Sims was that it was always this goofy, like, everything that I've always thought, it's always had like a slight goofiness about it, like with llamas and the social bunny, and, you know, different types of things with the aliens, and that's part of why you have the vampires and all the different supernatural. And in The Sims 2, all of that is played to be more comical than realistic, I guess. And I always felt like that was something at the heart of The Sims. And then the other thing, which has been something to continue more, is this overarching positivity in being yourself and in, you know, like, I'm having a hard time explaining what I mean. Basically, like, being yourself and expressing yourself and being able to communicate different types of lives. I think that The Sims as a franchise has really tried to do that in the easiest, or not always the easiest, but like in the best way to get a lot of different types of players as possible. And they've been definitely making strides over the years, especially in adding content specific to different cultures now. And I think that that is something that they've really caught on to, because, you know, I think that they are wanting to really branch out and be a part of different cultures and not just this thing that Americans got really into, you know, in the 2000s. So I guess, like, that is also something to think about. But I do miss that goofiness that was in The Sims 2, and to an extent The Sims 1. I miss it so much. Like, I can't tell you. My favorite characters are the social bunny, the llama mascot in the university, and also just I love the aliens for some reason in The Sims 2. I used to just play plain alien families because I thought that they were just the coolest looking things, which, you know, aesthetically they were just interesting because they were meant to look like that cartoony alien head that we would see back in the day. And I miss that. I miss that a lot to an extent. I also miss the fact that the furniture used to just be next to the walls instead of, like, having to cheat it next to the walls for The Sims 4. Like, I can't tell you how much that makes me happy to see that in The Sims 2. But you know, like, I guess, like, that's part of the whole we don't have as much movability when, like, or we didn't have as much movability back in the day. So, yeah, I really do like this house and how it turned out. I kind of wanted it to look a little IKEA-ish and then also a little bit like just nice, classic farmhouse. So, I think I did a pretty good job, and I stuck to light woods, which I almost never do in any building that I have done in my life, because your girl, like, black is the color of my soul, and pink is just the little glaze that I sometimes put on my cupcakes. Like, that's just kind of myself. Like, my YouTube intro, oh my goodness. It is so much more pastel than I've ever been in my life, but I'm embracing it. I'm embracing this type of, like, pleasant cloudiness that, you know, can be bubbly instead of just a monotone dark abyss. Yeah. So, I think I like how this turned out, and I think that it's probably something I might come back to try to recreate in The Sims 4, honestly. Definitely if they ever add spiral staircases, which I will always plead for. And I will always plead for bunk beds too, because that was something that was never added, I think, to The Sims 2 in any expansion. I had to mod it when I was a kid, so, you know, I want that too. It would be so much nicer. Anyways, so yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Check out some of my other builds. I have about 3 right now. Or check out my latest video, which came out on Friday. I played Marie's Room, which came out in 2018. Really enjoyed that game. Looking forward to whatever Like Charlie puts out next, which they're currently working on a game. And yeah, let me know what you think. So, I'm watching this towards the end here, and I think that, I don't know that I like that I put those chairs for that table. But, as I said, I was kind of going for this IKEA vibe, and I used stuff from the IKEA pack. Oh, well, the TV works. That rug, I don't know. This is definitely tight quarters, but oh, it's still cute. It works. I'd love to see someone do like this type of build using some of the tiny build objects without it being a tiny home, because I think the tiny home objects to some extent are really cool. And I don't know, maybe I will get that pack at some point when it goes on sale and I have actual money for it. Maybe. Because I think that the aesthetic just looked really nice, and I've seen a lot of people enjoying playing it. I don't know. So, oh, that was annoying too. Ugh. I don't know why, but I've had weird glitches in The Sims too. Like, it'll just pop up and then it won't pop up, and it will only pop up if you're like looking at the exact bottom of the house with underneath the foundation. Ugh. But I guess I dealt with it the best I could. So yeah, see you all guys in another video. Catch me next week, and ta-ta for now.